Happy Tuesday, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Let's get started, okay? Let's get started. But before we get started, let's look at this short clip so that you are reminded of why we do what we do here at Explore Blue Travel. Okay. So, thank you for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday. And today is what we call Talk Travel to Me Tuesday, or also affectionately known as Travel Tip Tuesday. And tonight we're in for a good topic, and I am so glad that you decided to spend some of your time with us. But before we dive into tonight's topic, I wanted to remind you of who Explore Blue Travel is and why we do what we do. So, Explore Blue Travel is a boutique travel company that curates amazing, epic experiences for busy women, women who are busy hustling for everyone else. They are taking care of their families, their businesses, their jobs, their in laws, communities, you name it, they are doing it. And a lot of times, because they are doing so much, they forget about themselves because they think if they don't do it, it won't get done. So they press pause and they postpone and they do not escape. They do not vacation. They do not take time away. And what happens is you could end up being burned out. And I'm here to remind you that we do not want any woman to experience burnout. Therefore, you need to vacation and you need to make sure that you are including vacation as a regular process, regular cycle in your life. So that's why Explore Blue Travel exists. We host luxurious trips domestically and internationally to places that will leave you feeling relieved, revived, and rejuvenated. So that's why we do what we do. So let's jump into tonight's topic. And it is a very good one, the science of gratitude, enhancing your travel. So, as you know, we are in the month of November. And generally, in the month of November, we like to talk about being grateful because, of course, one of the biggest holidays is shortly here. Okay. Next week, Thanksgiving is here. And it's a reminder to remind you how grateful you are, particularly if you are in certain countries. You have certain things, certain amenities, certain privileges that are second nature to us that we have grew up on, but there are others in other parts of the world. They don't have these conveniences. They don't have these things that sometimes we take for granted. So typically during November, there are different challenges. There are different giveaways taking place to remind us to give back to people who are less fortunate than ourselves. So what we have been doing here at Explore Blue Travel is we've been diving deeper into this topic week by week, dissecting it so that we can show you the importance of it and to see what role you can play when you travel, how you can help. So tonight's topic is going to be a very good one, as was the topic from last week. And let's go ahead and start. So welcome back to Talk Travel to Me Tuesday. And we are infusing our wanderlust with a sprinkle of science as we delve into the science of gratitude and how it can magnify the magic of our travels. So I don't know who likes science in school, or perhaps you're in school now, but we wanted to give you some type of feedback, okay, as to why it's important to actually give back and to give thanks. Now, what I want you to do is go grab your favorite beverage. If that's a cup of tea, if that's a water, a soda, or even a glass of wine, grab it and let's talk about enhancing your travel experience through giving back. And also to remember to be grateful, right? Because we're here. Okay. So if you're looking at me, if you're listening to this, we're here. And that's one thing that we should be grateful for. So let's jump in. We ain't gonna waste no time. So I always like, I don't know about you. And if so, Put it in the chat. And remember, when you come join us, make sure you let us know where you're watching from, okay? I try to shout out during the lives, but sometimes I cannot capture it. But I like to go back and I like to comment and I like to see, who was able to watch your live. So as you join us, make sure you are giving us your name and where you're watching from, because we want to shout you out, okay? So continue to drop those comments in the section of the video so that we can shout you out. If you catch this on replay, we still care about you too. Hashtag replay so that we can give you some love as well. Okay, so what are the psychological benefits of gratitude, right? Some people need to know the science behind, well, why should I do this, or what purpose will it serve, okay? And I wanted to give you just a little bit so that you can think about this. So I call it Gratitude 101. Did you know that gratitude can actually rewire your brain? Did you know that? Yes, it's like a superfood for your brain. Okay. It's like a superfood. And we know what the superfoods are, right? They always tell us, make sure you have enough intake of your green vegetables, things like that, right? Studies show that giving thanks can boost your happiness and even your health. Imagine that. You giving thanks can boost your health and your happiness. Come on, sign me up. Now let's have some fun. Here's a quick fire round of funny but genuine things to be grateful for while traveling. Because sometimes we can get in our feelings when we traveling, right? We can become a little, bougie, a little entitled. And when things don't go our way, it kind of puts a damper in our moods. But I want to remind you, despite that little hiccup or that little setback, always find ways to find joy in every situation. So first thing, who loves a good middle seat for the airplane? Not too many of us is going to raise our hands on that one, right? You rather have that window seat or that aisle seat, right? But let's say if you end up with a middle seat, you become more appreciative of the window and the aisle seat so much more, right? Because on the window seat, you can kind of, recline your head to kind of rest. And then on the aisle seat, if you need to get up and go anywhere or stretch your legs, you're not having to disturb somebody or seem like you are a nuisance. So when you are in that middle seat, you become more appreciative of how truly thankful you are of getting the window seat or the aisle seat on your next plane trip. So think about that next time. Okay, here's another one. That one pair of comfortable shoes that never give you blisters, no matter how many cobblestone streets you walk, right? So you know how it is. It's like when you are exploring a new place and you want to be cute, you want to be chic, right? But sometimes us women, we want to be too cute, right? And we don't be thinking like, okay, listen, this is not a good idea to wear these shoes right here because these are not the shoes. And you become more appreciative of those plain old shoes, okay? Those old shoes that are tried and true. So remember, the next time when you want to not be as grateful, remember that one pair of comfy shoes that made you so thankful, because guess what? You didn't have blisters. Here's a good one. The universal sign language of miming when you don't speak the local language. Now, come on. I know you can relate. When you have been somewhere and you are trying to convey your point, you're trying to tell them like, what I'm trying to say is, right? And you are trying to figure out, right? So what we do, charades, anyone, come on, we start moving our hands. We start trying to, like literally paint the picture and show them what we're talking about. And if you go back and look at yourself, if somebody was video clipping you, you'd be like, oh my goodness, what was she trying to say? What was she doing? And you find it humorous after the fact. But when you are in the middle of it and you're trying to find that bathroom, or you ended up at the wrong place, or you are running behind schedule and you're trying to actually, get them to understand you, it can be really worrisome, right? Well, I want you to remember, be grateful, okay? Be grateful for the ability to being able to try to relay your point in another way, okay? Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is how you can increase your capacity for gratitude. Okay. So, what travel experiences are you most grateful for? So, think about the trips that you have taken so far, or perhaps a trip that you have coming up. And what are you most grateful for? Okay. Because when you travel, it increases your capacity for gratitude. When you're out there in the world, every moment becomes a gift. Every moment becomes a gift. From the awe of a sunset in the sky to the kindness of strangers, to waking up to sounds that you're probably not familiar to hearing in your neighborhood, or even seeing the locals do their daily life, right? It makes you more grateful. So sometimes you just need to soak up those moments, right? As you are savoring your cup of coffee, as you are looking at the sunset or looking at the sunrise, and you should be thankful that you are there in that destination. And it makes you become more appreciative of the things that you have here at home that perhaps you were not thankful for, right? When you bump into a stranger and they share their story, they share with you how long it took for them to actually make it to their place of employment. It humbles you real quick because you realize that the only thing you had to do was you had to go downstairs, get in your vehicle, open the garage door, and then go to work, right? You may have encountered some traffic, but you were able to do that. Whereas you hear somebody else say, I had to get up 5 hours before my start time of my shift, and I had to take multiple buses to get here. And they show up and they are nice, they are kind, they are smiling, they are happy, they are there to serve you. It makes you become humble, and it lets you know that if they can be happy despite their circumstances, so can you and I. So just remember that. Now, I want to hear from you. Okay. So at this moment in the chat, could you let me know what travel experiences that you are most grateful for? Could you drop them in the comment section? And I want you to keep those coming. Okay. During the whole entire live, just keep those coming, because you will see some things that you're grateful for. You'll see some things that other people are grateful for. And it's just good to see it out there, right? And you notice the similarities, you notice the differences, but that what makes each of us unique. And that is so important, that we can be grateful for different things. And it's okay, right? It is a-okay. Now, y'all know I like to give y'all practical things, right? Okay, let me see who is commenting. Who is commenting? Okay, who do I have that have joined us today? Who can I shout out? Who do I have here? I'm going to shout out some people. Who do I have here on the live with us tonight? Do I have Miss Gwen? Do I see you, Gwen? Are you in the room tonight? Gwen usually attends each of these Talk Travel to Me sessions. What about Miss Prelo, Miss Michelle? Do I have you here tonight? Miss Angela? What about Miss Karen? Okay. So if you will, when you come in, make sure you list your name and where you're watching from so I can shout you out. If I don't shout you out during the live, then I can come back and always shout you out. So please, please continue to drop where you're watching from. Okay, so some practical tips on gratitude. Now, these are some things that I recommend that you do to keep you conscious about being grateful, okay? What I recommend is when you are traveling, I want you to make a list on your phone every night, and I want you to jot down just three things that made your day special, okay? It doesn't have to be nothing major. It doesn't have to be something that moved mountains, but what made your day special, okay? I want you to jot that down so that it can remind you, okay? It could be the barista actually giving you a bright smile when they serve you a drink, okay? It could be the housekeeper knowing your name and greeting you in their language. It could be someone being kind and they are opening the door for you, or they complimented you on your, on your outfit, okay, on your hair, on your makeup, on your swimsuit, whatever it is. just jot down 3 things. So every time you travel, I want you to jot down 3 things that you are grateful for, something that made your day special for that day. 3 things. Every night, jot them down, put them on your phone, okay? The next thing, send yourself a postcard. Yes, I want you to send yourself a postcard. And on that note, I want you to thank yourself for the experience that you just had. And you might be like, yes. So you are right into yourself. So when you are in destination, get a postcard. And on that postcard, I want you to write yourself a love letter. I want you to write yourself a letter stating, how the day went, how you anticipate the goodness of the day, something kind that happened to you, a sight or a food or something that just took your breath away. And I want you to send yourself a postcard. And then when you return home, you don't know what that postcard means to you. You might get that postcard in the perfect time. And you may need it to be uplifted. You may need it to be reminded, you know what? I'm so glad I took that trip. And I'm so glad I was able to experience this. So I want you, when you start traveling, I want you to write to your future self. I want you to send yourself a postcard. Now, this is a challenge I want you to do. And I'm going to try to do it with y'all, but I'm going to go ahead and warn you, okay? Y'all know I was raised in Southern Georgia, and y'all know I'm good in country, okay? So sometimes that Southern country twang come out, and I may not enunciate and pronounce some of my words, okay? And then when you give me another language, Jesus. So this is something that I want you to do. And you should do this anyway when you're traveling to a different destination. But I want you to learn how to say thank you in as many languages as you can on your next trip. It's a small gesture that goes a long way, right? So if you are visiting Zanzibar and they speak Swahili, okay, you will want to know how to say thank you in that language. If you are visiting Bali, or you are visiting Puerto Rico, or you are visiting Dubai, or Japan, Singapore, Thailand, I don't care where it's at. Learn how to say thank you in that language. It means a lot to the locals that you're visiting. But then also, too, just think how it feels when you hear somebody in your own country say thank you. You're like, oh, they really, took the time to actually learn something, right? So return the favor. So I want you to learn how to say thank you as many languages as you can, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen, and I am going to let you listen to saying thank you in the different languages, okay? Okay, so right now you should be able to see my screen, and I wanted to just showcase a few ways that different cultures around the world say thank you, okay? So I'm just going to click on some, and you may already know how to say it, okay? So let's start with Sweden. How do they say thank you? And I'm going to make sure that my volume is turned up so that you can hear it. And then after they say it, I'm going to try to follow up and say it. And then I want y'all to rate me and say, Zandra, girl, you nailed that one, or sis, you need to practice some more. Listen, y'all won't hurt my feelings. I like good, honest feedback. Okay, so first we're going to start with Swedish, how to say thank you.
Tack.
Talk.
Tack.
Talk. Okay, I think I might give myself a B+ on that one. Okay, now this one is common and most of you should know how to say it. I'm going to say it first since I know this one. Gracias.
Gracias.
Okay, you see they had a little Spanish twang in it. Let's go ahead and say it again, girl.
Gracias.
Okay. Okay, so if you Spanish is gracias. Okay, let's say Russian, okay. Now this I'm going to struggle with.
Спасибо.
Spasibo.
Спасибо.
Spasibo. Okay. How did I do on that one, y'all? Go ahead and let me know. Was that an A, A-, B+? Let me know how I did. Okay, let's Portuguese.
Obrigado.
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 Obrigado. Okay, I think I did decent on that one. Okay, come on. Let's go to Polish and see.
Dziękuję ci.
Dziękuję. Now I slaughtered that one, y'all.
Dziękuję ci.
Dziękuję. Think I did better on the second attempt. Okay. Mandarin. Pray for me, Jesus.
谢谢。
谢谢.
谢谢。
谢谢. I don't know if I did that one. Okay, come on. Let's go to Korea.
고마워.
Kumawa.
고마워.
Kumawa. Okay. I think I did this. Okay, come on. Let's go to Japan. If you are on our email list, you have been receiving a lot of emails about gratitude around the world. And Monday, we talked about showing thanks, and we introduced this term to you. So here it is.
ありがと
Arigato.
う。ありがと
Arigato. Okay, arigato. Arigato. I like that. And then you will receive one for Italy because we brought that one up. You will receive it. Let's see how they say thanks.
Grazie.
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 Grazie. Okay. I think at the end, I kind of messed that up. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to practice. Okay. Now you probably done laughed at me and had you a good old laugh. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. But what I want you to do is I want you to now practice saying thank you in multiple languages. And what y'all know about practice, the more you do something, the better you get, right? So if you only do it 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, you don't master it. You got to keep on doing it over and over again. I forgot what the latest evidence is before they say you actually master something, but I want to say it's like 10,000 hours or something like that. So again, a lot. You got to practice. You got to practice. Before you know it, you're going to come to me and you're going to say something. I'm like, oh, look at sister learn how to speak Japanese. Okay. So practice that. Okay. Can y'all promise me that in the chat? Say yes. Yes. Come on. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Say yes. Practice saying thank you in as many languages as possible. Okay. Now this is story time. Who loves a good story? Me, I love a good story. Okay. Because stories inspires you, right? Everybody has a story, right? You have a story of why you do what you do. Okay. Explore Blue Travel has a story of why we started as a company. Okay. So everybody has a story, but today's stories is focused on gratitude. And what I want you to do is we are in the middle of our gratitude challenge, which means that every day I want you to come on here in the group, the private Facebook group. If you have not joined our private Facebook group, the name of the group is the Blue Squad Travel Group. You can find us. You answer about 4 questions, and then me or my admin will admit you in the group. And the group is here to help you. So you don't have to wait on me or someone else to post something about gratitude. You can do it yourself. Post something about gratitude, sharing why you are grateful. Okay. And then normally when other people post, guess what? More people post and more people post and more people comment. And that's what we want to see. So do not be afraid to post. We want to see more posts from you. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to share a tale of gratitude from one of my travels that I did. And then what I want you to do too is I want you to share the same in the chat. Okay. And I think it's good for us to share stories. And that's why I always encourage you when you go travel, try to talk to someone different, try to talk to someone new, because when you talk to other people, you learn so much more about that country, that destination, that place, why they do what they do, why they, choose to work where they work at, or whatever the case may be. And it makes you be more grateful, right? And it makes you appreciate why people do certain things and take certain actions. So I'll share the story of when me and my husband had the marvelous vacation in Bermuda. And y'all, Bermuda was just like a fresh of breath air. I mean, it was like a fresh of breath, what is it? A fresh breath of air. Because the people were so kind. The people were so gracious. The people were so welcoming. The people were so just, I mean, you know how when you meet some people and they just down to earth, right? They ain't putting up no facades. They ain't putting up no walls. They ain't putting up nothing. And I remember on one of our excursions, because we didn't do many, because as y'all may remember, we traveled along the New Year's time frame, right? So we went out because, you know, when we go to a different destination, I like to get out the resort. Like, I'm not one of those people who like to stay on the resort. I like to get out and explore things off the beaten path, see how the city looks, see how the country looks, see, you know, where they eat at, where they work at, where they play at, you know, what things they do in their free time. And we did a tour of Bermuda. And Bermuda is basically like different provinces. Like, you know, when you go to certain places, you know, you'll say, okay, this place and this place, just like when you think of the boroughs in New York, right? There's several, where Bermuda was just like this as well. And they took us all around Bermuda. And of course, Bermuda is a small island. And the thing that was so humbling about that trip is that the tour guy, who was just so nice and so accommodating. And the whole entire time, he was so kind, and he spoke about his wife and how he loved his wife and how, you know, they both were raised there. They would never, ever leave Bermuda. They just love they love the country. He went back all the generations and why they stay. And then we started talking about other topics because, you know, when you go on you know, travel tours and different things like that, you be around each other for a while, so you get a little comfortable and you start asking questions about things that's going around maybe in your society, and you're trying to figure out like, okay, does that happen here? And the topic of race came up, and he explained how there they see everybody the same way, like despite the color of your skin, despite what your occupation is, they treat others how they want to be treated, and they see each other the same way. He say that's why a lot of the stars and celebrities like coming to Bermuda, because when they come there, it may be somebody famous as Rihanna or somebody famous as Beyonce or whoever. They see them as a person. They don't overcrowd their space. They don't, how when you see certain celebrities and famous people, you just want to run and you want to, can I get your signature, your autograph? Can I take a picture with you? Can I do right? And it's like the celebrity is a person too. Like they're on vacation too. They're trying to just relax, release, right? And they can't even be, somewhere because somebody is bombarding them and asking them and stuff. And they were saying how so many stars just love coming to Bermuda because they don't get that. Like they can go somewhere and they're not, surrounded by people trying to do these things, right? And as we continue to talk, at the very end of the tour, he somehow, I know what it was, he had lost a lot of weight, right? And he wanted to show us what he looked like prior to him losing the weight. And he looked like a total different person. But this was the thing. When he showed us the picture, his wife was of African descent. Never once did he say anything that even what made you thought that, right? And I said to myself, that's the way it should be, right? That's the way it should be. Love is love. Love doesn't have a color. Love doesn't look a certain type of way. And it just made me become very more intentional on being just human, right? We should love all people, despite their gender, despite their race, despite their religion, all of that, right? And it made me be more grateful that there are people in this world that exist that they don't see color, they don't see different things, right? And it really, really just made me say, you know what, I'm gonna be a better person. I think I'm already a good person. I'm gonna be a better person, right? And that right there really, really inspired me and it motivated me to just have a different outlook on things, right? Things don't have to look a certain way. You can always change things, right? Just because something is a certain way does not mean it has to stay that way. So you need to be open-minded. You need to be have an open mindset, because it really, really helps and it transforms you to be a better person. So that's something that I had wanted to share that made me grateful for me being there and me being able to witness that. And then it made me be more mindful. So what I want you to do is I want you to share what, something that you experienced in destination that made you grateful, that made you humble, that made you kind of look at things a little bit more differently. And you can share it here, or what I highly recommend is you go in our Facebook group and you share, or you can send us an email. Okay. If you are not on our email list, there's a running banner below. Make sure you join our email list, because anytime anything happens, that's where we announce everything first. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to wrap it up, and let's just remember that gratitude isn't just about saying thanks. Okay. It's deeper than that. And it's a way to deepen our travel experiences, making them richer and more memorable. It's about seeing the wonder in the world and coming back home with a fuller heart. Okay. So remember, next week we have another episode of Talk Travel to Me Tuesday. So make sure you set your clock. It is going to be at 7 p.m. next Tuesday, which is the week of Thanksgiving. So I know you might be in travel status, but make sure you hop on, invite a friend, invite someone, share it. I really, really enjoy these, and I hope you are finding value from these as well. Next week, we're talking about global celebrations of gratitude, and you don't want to miss this, okay? And continue to share your gratitude stories in the chat, in the Facebook group, or via email, and let's spread the joy together. Until then, keep traveling, keep thanking, keep sharing, and keep on shining as the beautiful diamond you are. Remember, if you ain't talking about a vacation, I don't know what you're talking about. I will see you next week for Talk Travel to Me Tuesday.